single is that you can do everything at your own pace, own time. You really should just do things for you. So basically, you can meet your future husband if you do things by yourself.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. So today's video is going to be more personal, more serious, more intimate, and you're going to hear a lot more personal stories about me to get to know me a little bit better regarding my love life, my struggles, my victories, what I've learned, and how it's really helped reshape my life. So I'm just gonna get straight into it. So that dreaded question at every family party is always,
do you have a boyfriend?
and I used to hate that question so much more back then, especially when I was like 18. I might still hate that question, but I kind of just take it with a grain of salt now. And the reason why I'm making this video is because I feel like a lot of people who are single feel bad about being single, but there's beauty in it, and I want you guys to see that beauty. So I'm going to tell you guys how I became really happy and content with just being single and just doing me. And first thing I want to say is that we should normalize being single, because I feel like people automatically assume that just because you're single means that you're weird and you're not a great person to be in a relationship with. Like, no, I feel like that's bullcrap. So let's get straight into it. First question you always need to ask yourself when you are feeling down about being single is, are you single by choice? And I'm pretty sure the answer, I'll just answer for you.
Yes, you are.
Because I am 100% sure there are people out there who would love to be in a relationship with you, but they're either not your type, they're shitty people, you're just not compatible. You know, there's many different reasons, but the main reason is that you just haven't found anyone yet who you're willing to be in a relationship with. For example, that is my case. I have yet to find someone who I would love to be in a relationship with, which leads me to my very first piece of advice. Don't rush into things that are important to you. Now, I am not a hookup person, not that there's anything bad with it, so I don't really use dating apps or anything like that. And that is because when I am with someone, I want to be like fully with them and not just with them for like a night. And I know you guys are probably screaming at me, telling me that it's probably gonna take 10 years until I actually meet someone the more traditional way, but I know it'll be worth the wait. And so obviously being in a relationship with someone who I really care about is really important to me. So I'm not gonna rush into it, I'm just gonna let it happen naturally. And you know, of course, they always say the more you don't look for it, the more it will come to you. So also remember that. This kind of carries on to my next piece of advice, which is know your worth. It's so important to know your worth because this ties in with don't settle, okay? Never ever settle. If you have high standards, keep them there, because my mom always tells me, when are you ever going to lower your standards if you're not going to keep them high now? Knowing your worth is super important, because you need to know that you deserve a lot more than someone else who you settle for. What? Obviously we have different definitions of settling, but what I really mean is someone who doesn't deserve you. So let me tell you the first personal story about Leah and her love life. So there was this guy, there's me, we liked each other. And I thought he was so perfect in so many different ways, but the more I got to know him, the more I realized that, you know, although he ticks a lot of boxes, he was missing, you know, in an area that I could just not look over. And that one thing he did lack in was super important, because I knew that if we were ever to get into a relationship, that it would definitely negatively impact it. And, you know, just trying to pursue whatever was going on between us would not be worth it. By the way, what he was lacking in, I'm sure you guys can use your creative imagination, but let me just tell you, what you're thinking is not it. I have such a dirty mind. Okay, before you guys all come for me, okay, first of all, it's not what you're thinking, and second of all, it's more of a holistic thing that he lacked in. It wasn't a physical thing. I mean, overall, I still think he's a really great guy, but I just don't think that we would be good together. You know, I was yelling to the love gods, like, are you kidding me? Like, this one time when I actually meet a boy who I think I can see myself with, you just make him lack in something that's so important to me. And of course, I was sad and frustrated for like a week, but I got over it because I told myself that although he's not the one, Mr. Prince Charming is still on his way, and everything happens for a reason. That was the biggest thing I kept telling myself. And I've been on dates and I've had some flings with some guys, and you know, it's really crazy. A lot of people tell me, like, how have you not met anyone that you like at all? You know, honestly, I ask myself that same thing, but I don't stress about it because it's not worth stressing over. Yeah, just, again, let fate do its thing. Okay, now I'm going to get into the second part of this video. So after you realize why you are single, now it's time to actually deal with being single. And this took me some time to adapt to and actually figure out what the hell do I do while my friends go on cute Pinterest dates with their boyfriends and whatever. Like, what am I supposed to do, right? And I realized that what you're supposed to do is literally just work on yourself and always try to be the best version of yourself, more so, than yesterday. Because when you enter into a relationship with someone, you are now going to sacrifice time, some responsibilities. The world doesn't revolve around you anymore, and so it's going to be more difficult to just focus on yourself. And so, for the time being, when you are single, this is the time to make the world revolve around you. And it's actually the greatest feeling ever. You see, the beauty in being single is that you can do everything at your own pace, own time, do whatever you want, eat whatever you want, and, have a whole bed to yourself before you have to share a bed with someone else. And I feel like it's so important to feel secure with yourself first before you enter into a relationship, because you don't want to completely rely on someone for happiness, Like, find happiness within yourself. And the way I find happiness through myself is just doing the things I love, and also going out by myself and realizing that people don't care. A lot of people feel like people are judging each other just because, like, that person's not with a friend or anything. But it's like, total opposite. People really don't give a shit. Another thing too that's common, especially with our generation, is that we love to post on our stories in hopes that our one crush will see it, which I used to do that frequently. So I am exposing myself. But I realize how toxic that can be, because you really should just do things for you. And I completely understand stories are meant for other people to see, but I'm talking about when you want to post on your story just for one person in hopes that he sees it, and that you alter your posts because you want him to have a different image of you. Really cliche motto comes in, but just be you, because you should not mold yourself into someone else just for him. So for example, if you hate green juice and you post a picture of green juice on your story because he likes green juice and whatever, and he's going to think, oh my god, she loves green juice, oh my god, we're going to fall in love. Like, no, that's probably not going to happen. I mean, it might, but it probably most likely won't. So that is why you should just post whatever you want. Post for you, do things for you, because life is too short to do things for other people. So now I'm going to reach the final portion of this video, which is some cute stories that I have experienced while I did things by myself. So I'm going to start with the juiciest one first. So I was coming back from shopping on Newbury Street. I was crossing the public garden and I sat down on a bench, and then all of a sudden I hear a skateboard right in front of me, and a skater boy stops right in front of me, looks at me and says, "Hey, I like your jacket." And I'm like, "Oh, this old thing? Thanks." And he's like, "Can I sit down with you?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So we talk, blah, blah, blah. And he asked me on a date. He asked for my Instagram. And it was really nice. So basically, you can meet your future husband if you do things by yourself. I think it's just because people tend to be less intimidated when you're by yourself than if you're with a group of friends. By the way, nothing happened between this guy and I because he just, again, didn't tick all the boxes for me, but he's a really great guy and I wish him all the happiness in the world. My next story is me when I was chilling at a cafe by myself, and this man who I think worked in the finance district because he looked very well put together, but basically I was drinking matcha latte, and he was like, "Excuse me, miss, but like, what is that?" I'm like, "Oh, it's a matcha latte." And he was like, "Oh my god, no way." I was like, "Yes way." So we had a lovely little conversation about matcha, and then he packed up to leave, and before he left, he made sure to stop by my table to show that he also got a matcha latte, and I was like, "Oh my god, cute, twinnies," So okay, it didn't go exactly like that. See, there's a higher possibility of you meeting your future husband and having a cute meet cute when you're by yourself and do things by yourself than if you are with a group of friends. And I also met this lovely southern woman in the Anthropology on Newbury Street. I was just shopping, and she, looked at what I picked up an ornament because Anthropology sells really cute ornaments out of the collection on my Christmas tree. Anyways, besides the point. So I was holding the ornament and she was like, "Oh my god, that's so cute." I'm like, "Oh my god, yeah, it is." And so, we had the loveliest conversation ever. She told me about where she's from. I told her where I'm from, what I do, where I go to school, my social security number. And she told me that, like, "Oh my god, you are so lovely, that you remind me of my daughter's Filipino best friend." And I'm like, "Oh my god, like, how did you know I was Filipino?" And she was like, "You just look it." I'm like, right, I can connect two and two together. I forgot her name because I suck at remembering names, but I hope she's doing well because I also wish her all the best. I mean, this is kind of different because I was taking an Uber back home, but my Uber driver and I turned out to have a lot in common because we spoke about basketball, and apparently for his birthday he was going to watch a Lakers game. I think it was in Texas, and his favorite player was Alex Caruso. I'm like, oh my god, my favorite player is also Alex Caruso. He's like, oh my god, no way. And I was like, yes way. I was like, oh my god, that's so great. He's like, well, that's so great. Again, the conversation didn't really go like that. Okay, yeah, I just went on a completely different tangent. But basically, long story short, to wrap up this video, it is awesome being single by yourself because you can do whatever you want at your own pace, at your own time, and it's really good to spend time with yourself to develop this sense of independency by yourself, because that's really important for you to enter into a relationship because you don't want to depend on someone else for happiness. So if you guys enjoyed this video, and if you want more exclusive content and more about my daily life, you can follow me on my Instagram or my TikTok, and yeah, send me a message, whatever, I'll respond back probably. Not unless you're really creepy. I'm just kidding. You guys aren't creepy. I mean, I hope you guys aren't creepy, because, I mean, if you are, that's okay. I'm just But without further ado, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you again in the next video. Bye bye!